Hello, Internet friends. This is Danielle Pierce, the creator of Real Estate Profit Lab, coming to you with our very first campaign of the year, which is aptly entitled Cracking 100K in 2021. And of course, we're talking about property preservation. So, the very first topic I'm going to cover in this video is related to the top 5 myths surrounding property preservation. So, I'll outline those in this video, starting with number 1, which is that you need a real estate license. So, you do not need a real estate license. If you have one, it's not going to give you a one-up or an advantage over anyone who does not have one. And that's just what it is. So you can get one if you have another plan for your license. But if you're thinking that you need to get your real estate license to do property preservation, that would be incorrect. All right. Myth number 2 is that you need to have a general contractor's license. So again, this is another myth that refuses to die out. And that's because people seem to have, many people often have a fundamental misunderstanding of what property preservation is. So you're not, in fact, going into properties, rehabbing and renovating them a la HGTV. What you're doing is just the basic repairs and maintenance, often trash outs to get the property ready for conveyance or to be sold to, in an arm's length transaction. So to do those types of tasks, you do not need a general contractor's license. Now, if you have one, it could be an advantage depending upon which company you're partnered with and what you decide you want to do going forward. So I won't tell you that you never will need one or that you shouldn't get one. If you have one, it's great. But if you don't have one, don't spend money getting one to get into the industry. All right. Myth number 3 is that you have to, actually, I covered it a little bit already. Myth number 3 is that you need to renovate the properties. So again, you're not renovating the properties. You're just doing repairs, maintenance. So winterizations, grass cuts, snow removals, shrub trimming, tree trimming, um, of course, trash outs, of course, sometimes some light plumbing work, light electrical, light HVAC. You may do a patch on a roof, but you're not actually, most of the time, you're not doing a full tear off and installing a new layer of shingles. So that is what constitutes property preservation. So again, very different from an actual full blown renovation. All right, myth number 4 is that the pricing is too low in order to bring on contractors to help you complete the job. So a couple things about that. It depends on the company that you're working with. So there is tiers of pricing, and basically I call them first, second, and third tier companies. There's the first tier companies where they have the highest price points. They pay on time. They don't really, kind of nickel and dime you about your fee, your invoices, and they're a reputable company. Then at the bottom you have third tier companies, which are kind of like the mom and pop or some of the regional companies where they will in fact nickel and dime you and not pay you every chance that they get. So the goal is, if pricing is your concern, I want you to first make sure that you're partnering with the top tier company, and then from there it's simply a matter of adjusting your pricing to a point where you can get the work still done and also still make a profit. I'm always some genuinely baffled often when people say, well, I can't find people to do work at, I can't find people to, let's say, do a grass cut for $25. So let's just talk in terms of hourly, because that's what most people understand, right? So if you were to say, post a job right now and say that I have a job paying $25 an hour, you'd get, dozens, if not hundreds of people saying that, hey, sign me up for that job. But somehow when it's related to, when it's a scenario where it's not quote unquote hourly compensation, people are often confused and they feel like, well, I can't get anybody to do this for $25. And it's like, well, why not? Amazon has hundreds of thousands of workers that they pay anywhere from 12 to 15 to $17 an hour all around the country. And we all know what the conditions are like in some locations. I shouldn't say all locations, but people work their behinds off for that money at Amazon. Same thing with any other, countless jobs that you could think of. There's plenty of people who are willing to work at 12, 15, $17 an hour. So if everybody else can find them, then you should be able to find them as well, is kind of my point. So maybe you have to rephrase things in terms of talking in hourly numbers, because that's what people understand. But trust and believe, given the fact that 70% of Americans can't put their hands on $500 to $1,000 on any given day. If an emergency arises, you can find people to get work done at $15, $17 an hour. All right. So moving on. Point number 5 is that it's impossible to find subcontractors. So is it going to be hard? Yeah, it's going to be hard, but definitely not impossible. And again, I say that because I find subs, other students, plenty of our students have been able to locate subs. These companies are able to locate subcontractors. So they're definitely out there. It just requires being diligent, keeping a positive mindset, which I'll admit can be challenging when you have to go through so many people who are crazy or unqualified. But I do want you to be clear that it's going to be an ongoing challenge, but it's a challenge that you can certainly overcome. And it'll be something you'll have to constantly contend with as far as, finding subcontractors that do what they're supposed to do, when they're supposed to do it by, and that can live up to, all the things that they say they can do, right? Because they always say that they can do all the things. And then when you bring them on board, you often find out that that's not the case. So again, that was a quick recap of the top 5 myths regarding property preservation. The campaign this month is cracking 100K in 2021, which is my goal for, a minimum goal for everyone who comes through the program, right? That's the minimum goal. And as always, if you are not a current student, I definitely encourage you to become a part of our student population and potentially be our next success story. And to do that, just click the link down below to register. All right, that's all I got for now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.